go ahead and call net control. We'll pass that along to the National Hurricane Center right away. We are starting to see more and more effective Hurricane Michael on the coast, so any stations with any reports are really encouraged to give us a call. WX9VOR.
Roger, roger.
All right, attention all stations. I'm going to repeat an advisory that we had received this morning from the folks at again, Hurricane Michael is a very powerful storm, and there are some very serious, potentially life-threatening consequences of being in the wrong place with this storm. So let me read this message as follows. A destructive and life-threatening storm surge event will occur along portions of the Florida Panhandle, Big Bend, and Nature Coast on Wednesday and Wednesday night. The worst storm surge is expected to be between Mexico Beach and Keaton Beach, where 9 to 13 feet of inundation is possible. So basically, if you live or know anyone who lives in those affected areas, please, time is vanishing here. They need to be out of those areas or in a safe place, please. There is a Florida State Assistance Information Line, or otherwise known as SAIL. It's a toll-free hotline that's available 24/7. It's 1-800-342-3557. Please don't delay in evacuating if you've been requested to do so. There will not be help during the height of the storm, so please be in a safe place. You can get up-to-the-minute real-time traffic conditions and incident information from the state of Florida with Florida 511. Just dial 511. And you can find your evacuation zone and emergency alerts from the same website. It's called On Florida Disaster. That's onfloridadisaster.org. Evacuation zones are at /info. Alerts are at /alertflorida on that same website. There's also a listing of hurricane shelters that are still opened at various locations. Shelter information is available through FL CERT. Their information page is floridadisaster.org/info. So please, if you know anyone in the affected areas, they really need to be out of there. WX9VOR. there was John. This is WX9BOR Net Control for the Voice for IP Hurricane Net, checking in from Newport.
Yourself.
Yeah, I was having a little problem. I had to figure out what it was, but I got it working, over. All right, I got you a room full of you here. Just wanted to let you know I'm here listening, over.
have advisory number 16 that has been released already. Just a reminder to all stations, we do have a live net going at this time, so we're not taking regular check-ins at this point. We're asking everybody to maintain radio silence in lieu of allowing any stations with reports from the affected areas to reach us. And as these statements get a little bit longer, I'll take more frequent breaks and leave space for any emergency traffic that needs to get through. So, but for those that are joining us, just a reminder, as the day gets more and more busy as we expect it to, if you are here just to listen, if you could connect to one of our other conference rooms that are linked in, we would really appreciate that. WX Talk is being held open for any stations that need to do reporting, so if you're in the affected areas or if you're able to relay reports from the affected areas, please do go ahead and stay here in WX Talk. But otherwise, other stations that are just listening, we have a whole variety of different conference rooms you can move to. Amongst the quick list here is KA1AAA or KA1AAA, the New England 3 Conference, NEW-ENG3, the ARERT Conference, ARERT. We also have the Washington, D.C. or WAFH_DC Conference Room. And also thanks to NWS Fort Worth, Dallas, we have WX5FWD. So if you would avail yourself of one of those other rooms, we really appreciate it. It saves us bandwidth here in the main room. I will begin with advisory number 16 here in just a second. Attention all stations. This is advisory number 16 for Hurricane Michael from National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida, 10 o'clock a.m. Central Daylight Time update. Core of extremely dangerous Hurricane Michael closing in on the coast of the Florida Panhandle. Life-threatening storm surge, hurricane force winds, and heavy rainfall imminent. Summary as of 10 o'clock a.m. Central Daylight Time, 1500 UTC. The brief information here as follows. Location 29.4 north, 86.0 west. Location about 60 miles or 95 kilometers south-southwest of Panama City, Florida. About 65 miles or 100 kilometers west-southwest of Apalachicola, Florida. Maximum sustained winds are at 145 miles an hour or 230 kilometers per hour. Present movement is north-northeast or 15 degrees at 14 miles an hour, which is also the same as 22 kilometers per hour. Minimum central pressure is 928 millibars or 27.41 inches. Changes with this advisory. A tropical storm warning has been issued for the coast of North Carolina from Surf City to Duck, including Pamlico and Albemarle Sounds. A storm surge watch has been issued for the coast of North Carolina from Okeechobee Inlet to Duck. The tropical storm watch for the Gulf Coast west of Mississippi and Alabama border has been discontinued. Break for more. All right, continuing with advisory number 16 here. Summary of watches and warnings in effect. A storm surge warning is in effect for Okaloosa, Walton County Line, Florida, Anclote River, Florida. A storm surge watch is in effect for Anclote River, Florida, and Anna Marie Island, Florida, including Tampa Bay. Also for Oracoke Inlet, North Carolina to Duck, North Carolina. A hurricane warning is in effect for Alabama-Florida border to Swanee River, Florida. A tropical storm warning is in effect for Alabama-Florida border to the Mississippi-Alabama border, Swanee River, Florida to Chesapeake, Florida, north of Fernandina Beach, Florida to Duck, North Carolina, and Pamlico and Albemarle Sounds. A tropical storm watch is in effect for Chesapeake. Oh, I'm going to trip over that one, so forgive me here, folks. Chesapeake to Anna Marie Island, Florida, including Tampa Bay. All right, and we'll continue with the discussion and outlook here. Let me break for more. All right, continuing onward with advisory number 16, discussion and outlook. At 10 o'clock a.m. Central Daylight Time, 1500 UTC, the eye of Hurricane Michael was located at near latitude 29.4 north, longitude 86.0 west. Michael is moving towards the north-northwest near 14 miles an hour or 22 kilometers per hour. A turn towards the northeast is expected this afternoon or tonight. A motion towards the northeast at a faster forward speed is forecast on Thursday through Friday night. On the forecast track, the core of Michael is expected to move ashore along the Florida Panhandle early this afternoon, move northwestward across the southeastern United States tonight and Thursday, and then move off the mid-Atlantic coast away from the United States on Friday. Data from NOAA and Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft indicate that the maximum sustained winds are near 145 miles per hour or 230 kilometers per hour with higher gusts. Michael is an extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale, and that's the winds, folks. Some strengthening is still possible before landfall. After landfall, Michael is forecast to become a post-tropical cyclone on Friday, and strengthening is forecast as the system moves over the western Atlantic. Break for more. All right, WX9 VOR for the Voice of VoIP Hurricane next, continuing with discussion portion on advisory number 16. And yes, I do have a phone ringing in the background, so that's me. Let's see. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 45 miles or 75 kilometers from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 175 miles or 280 kilometers. A private weather station at Bald Point, Florida, recently reported a sustained wind of 54 miles an hour, otherwise known as 87 kilometers per hour, and a gust of 61 miles per hour or 98 kilometers per hour. A wind gust of 46 miles per hour or 74 kilometers per hour was recently reported inland at Tallahassee, Florida. The latest minimum central pressure based on data from reconnaissance aircraft is 928 millibars or 27.41 inches. So moving on to hazards affecting land. Storm surge. This is an area of particular concern. The combination of dangerous storm surge and tide will cause normally dry areas near the coast to be flooded. Let me move into the actual numbers here. Tyndall Air Force Base, Florida to Ancilla River, or Osceola River. There we go. 9 to 14 feet. So I do pay attention to that. Okaloosa, Walton County Line, Florida to Tyndall Air Force Base, 6 to 9 feet. Osceola River, Florida to Cedar Key, Florida, 6 to 9 feet. Cedar Key to Chesapeake, Florida, 4 to 6 feet. Chesapeake to Anna Marie Island, including Tampa Bay, 2 to 4 feet. Sound side of North Carolina Outer Banks to Orcoke Inlet and Duck, 2 to 4 feet. Wind. Tropical storm and hurricane conditions are spreading onshore in the U.S. Gulf Coast within the warning areas. Hurricane conditions will also spread well inland across the portions of the Florida Panhandle, southeastern Alabama, and southwestern Georgia later today and tonight. Wait for more. continuing with advisory number 16 here. Talking about wind. We're in the wind section here with hazards. Tropical storm conditions are expected to spread northward within the warning area along the southeast U.S. coast beginning tonight through Friday. Rainfall. Michael is expected to produce the following rainfall amounts through Friday. Florida Panhandle, Big Bend, southeast Alabama, portions of southwest and central Georgia, 4 to 8 inches, with isolated maximum amounts of 12 inches. This rainfall could lead to life-threatening flash floods. The remainder of Georgia, the Carolinas, southern Virginia, 3 to 6 inches, with an isolated maximum amount of 8 inches. Florida Peninsula, eastern Mid-Atlantic, southern New England coast, 1 to 3 inches. So wrapping up here, we have surf. Swells generated by Michael will affect the coast of the eastern, northern, and western Gulf of Mexico during the next day or so. Warnings about life-threatening surf and rip conditions. Please check your local office for more information. Tornadoes are possible across parts of Florida Panhandle and northern Florida Peninsula through this afternoon. And this risk will spread northward into parts of Georgia and southern South Carolina this afternoon and tonight. And there is a tornado watch that is still posted until 5 p.m. today, I believe Eastern time. So the next advisories are, intermediate advisory will be available at 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and the next complete advisory will be 4 o'clock p.m. Central Daylight Time. That ends the advisory.
units to be entered the affected area. Over.
Attention all stations, we have NWX Tallahassee that has issued an extreme wind warning. This is kind of an unusual situation for them, so I'm going to just read the summary of this real quick. At 11:11 a.m., National Weather Service in Tallahassee, Florida has issued an extreme wind warning for Gulf County in the Panhandle of Florida, Southern Bay County, southwestern Franklin County in Big Bend, Florida, until 2:15 or 2:15 Eastern Daylight Time, 1:15 Central. At 11:09 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated extreme winds in excess of 130 miles an hour associated with the eye wall of Hurricane Michael. We're moving onshore. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. So again, that was as of 11:09 Eastern Daylight Time, 10:09 Central Time. That was extreme winds in excess of 130 miles an hour associated with the eye wall of Hurricane Michael. Please take appropriate action at this time. WX9BOR.
Army, November Charlie, Sierra 120, Pennsylvania. This is SCS 012, over. Roger, we'll show you in and out. You can get the MT-63 message. Your check-in time will be 1523 Zulu, over. Roger, affirmative on one MT-63 here and out at 1523 Zulu. Thank you. November Charlie Sierra 327. This is November Charlie Sierra 012. Over. Roger, we have you in New York. Affirmative on the message at 15240. And how long will you be with us? Over. Roger, we'll show you with us until 1545. Thank you very much. Clears off Delta 34. This is November Charlie Sierra 012. Roger, good morning. Your check-in time is 1524. How long will you be with us? And did you get a copy of the message? Over. I understand you are off frequency when MT-63 message came out. I will send again. You will be with us until 1600. Are you prepared to get the message at this time? Over. Delta 34, this is November Charlie Sierra 012. That message should have repeated twice. My mistake. Did you copy what was said? Over. Roger, thank you for that report. November Charlie Sierra 100 Florida, this is SCS 012. Are you on the frequency? Over. Roger, November Charlie Sierra 100. Good morning. Your check-in time is 1526 Zulu. Did you copy the MT-63 message? Over. Roger, I stand corrected. State of Virginia. Virginia, and how long will you be with us? Over. Roger, we'll show you in and out. Back to you, Mike. You did copy the message and let it out, over. I cut off part of the message. I only have the first three lines and part of the second paragraph, so my apologies. Over.
9B01 at control for the Voice over IP Hurricane Net. Just a reminder again, the reason it is so quiet is we are leaving this channel open for any stations that have reports from the affected area. There is an extreme wind warning that has been issued by NWS Tallahassee. They're warning about the eyewall winds reaching up to 130 miles an hour plus. We do have also a tornado watch for the affected areas until 5 o'clock Eastern Time today. So there are a lot of very serious things that are going on. Thanks to all stations that are keeping this channel free and clear and quiet for any stations that need to send us reports. And we are encouraging any stations that do have reports from the affected areas, please send that information to us ASAP. We are looking for measured winds, sustained or in gusts 40 miles an hour or greater, looking for reports regarding wind damage, tornadoes, and any kind of flooding, coastal storm surge, inland river stream, urban flooding. If you have other reports regarding wind damage, can take a lot of different forms, power lines, trees. We're now starting to see a few reports trickle into some of the local NWS offices. So if you have any reports or you know anyone in the affected area that you can relay reports through us into the National Hurricane Center, we really do appreciate it. WX9BOR.
Time is 15330. How long will you be with us? And do you have the MT63 message? Over. Roger, no message. You go out to the person that you did say Kilo Golf Golf 83 Alpha. Is that correct? Thank you. November Charlie Sierra 9, I believe it was 2-4 attempting to call. Come again, please. Over. November Charlie Sierra 9, 9-6. Come again, please. Over. November Charlie Sierra 9-6-4. Reporting your second time is 1534.
Control, WX4NHC.
WX4NHC, go ahead. This is WX9VOR.
Debbie, we just received a report here from Sunnyside, Florida. It said big waves, surge flooding into the beach condos. Can you get any more information on that report, please?
All right, let me make sure I've got information here. You said it was Sunnyside Beach in Florida, flooding into the condos in that area. Did I copy that correctly?
Yes, the report states Sunnyside, Florida, big waves and surge flooding into the beach condos. So maybe you can get a little more information on that. It was reported by Keith, KC8TCQ.
Would you make copy?
All right, understood. Thank you very much on that. We'll check.
Yeah, if you can provide some more details on that, if you have any measurement of how much surge or flooding, that would be great. Thanks a lot. We'll be standing by. WX4NHC, National Hurricane Center, Miami.
Actually, Julio, I don't know if you can see. Keith said that there was a report via social media about that. There was a video link attached via Twitter. Keith, if you could post that into the text box, I guess we need the link to the video if he's got that. Yeah, if you go find the link for us, we need that. WX4NHC, do you see that in the text box? We've got the link for you now.
Roger. Okay, thank you very much. But I can't post video links, but if you have an estimate on how high the surge and the waves were going into that condo, we'd appreciate it. Thanks a lot, WX4NHC.
Control, this is KC at TCQ.
Good morning. Your check-in time is 15410. Did you get the message, and how long will you be with us?
KC at TCQ. Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, WX4NHC, if you're still monitoring. I'm watching the video, and it's hard to determine without knowing exactly where the condos are, the height of the surge. But the water is coming all the way from the beach past the wall that they have for the access to the beach, and coming up to the first floor entrances to the first floor condos. if I'm making sense.
Roger, is that the first elevated floor? Is it, a typical condo floor-to-floor height is about 12 feet over.
These appear to be older buildings. They actually look like they have ground floor units.
Roger. Okay, so the height of that ground floor unit is probably 8 to 9 feet before the second floor opens.
Yeah, that would be a good estimate.
Good. I'll add that detail to the report. Thank you very much, WX4 NHC.
TCQ, back to the control.
Negative on the traffic, the message. I'll be here the rest of the day, over. Roger, you'll be with us the rest of the day. Negative on the message. Do you have suitability, over? Affirmative. Roger, there will be a message sent shortly. Additional station calling. Come again, please, over. You weak as K-section relay, over. November station, come again slowly at call sign twice, please, over.
K3 CFG net control.
K3CFG, hey Carl, what do you have for me? WX9BOR.
Yes, ma'am, I noticed we got several Georgia stations here. I was wondering if it'd be okay if I read the Georgia-specific hurricane warning, or do you want me to wait and do that when I take over again?
Now, if you want to summarize that here right now, that would be fine.
I can do that. All you stand by. Just want to let me summarize it real quick.
We got two songs down with 943. Just want to let you know for the rest of the naps that he is up and good read about this location, over.
All stations K3CFG with the VoIP Hurricane Net. The National Weather Service in Peachtree City has issued the first Georgia-specific hurricane warning. Latest it will be for central Georgia, including the only county that is affected at this current moment is Houston County. Local forecast equivalent tropical storm force winds, peak wind forecast 30 to 40, just to 60. Of course, there's still the same, as Debbie's been telling you all morning, the same potential threat to life and property, potential impact, extensive, considerable roof damage, large trees, urban, some roads impassable due to rain, flooding, flash flood watch is in effect for the peak area as well. Potential threats to life, the flooding rain threat has remained nearly steady from the previous assessment. Potential impacts, moderate rainfall, flooding, may prompt several evacuations and rescues. There's always going to be the potential life and property. If you have any more information in the brief summary, you can go to the Peachtree City website and check it for further. This is basically the same, Debbie, the same one you put out for Bay County earlier. In fact, it is almost word for word what you put out. It just has changed the counties. K3 CFG back to net control.
right, attention all stations. We've had a long period of silence again. If we have any actual reports from the affected areas, there's been some confusion. There's quite a lot of information, or there's quite a lot of posting, let's put it that way, that's going on social media. And we do appreciate any heads up regarding videos, things of that nature. Here's the trick, folks. If you've taken the Sky One classes from the National Hurricane Center, they really live and breathe on specifics. So if you have specific information, measured information about wind speeds, wind damage, storm surge, flooding, etc., we're looking for actual wave heights, actual numbers. So if you run into somebody who has information that looks like it'll go that way, and you can contact them, relay that kind of specific information into us, it is greatly appreciated. We don't want to discourage you from doing that. Let me pass along, we have a update from the National Hurricane Center that just got released at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Daylight Time. This is a position update. 4 of Michael nearing the coast of Florida Panhandle between St. Vincent Island and Panama City. A private weather station on St. George Island, Florida, recently reported sustained wind of 46 miles an hour or 74 kilometers per hour, and a wind gust of 66 miles per hour or 106 kilometers per hour. The Apalachicola Airport recently reported sustained winds of 45 miles an hour, in other words, 72 kilometers per hour, and a gust of 76 miles per hour, or 122 kilometers per hour. Water levels continue to rise quickly along the coast of Florida Panhandle. The National Ocean Service water level station at Apalachicola recently reported 5.5 feet of inundation above ground level. So the summary as of 11 o'clock Central Daylight Time, 1600 UTC, reads as follows. Location 29.6 north, 85.8 west, about 35 miles or 55 kilometers southwest of Mexico Beach, Florida, about 40 miles or 65 kilometers south of Panama City, Florida. Maximum sustained winds 150 miles per hour or 240 kilometers per hour. Present movement north-northeast or 15 degrees at 14 miles an hour or 22 kilometers per hour. Minimum central pressure 923 millibars. Let me continue. 1 second. Thought I could get it done before I hit the timer here, but couldn't. All right, minimum central pressure 923 millibars. Yes, you heard that right. 923 millibars or 27.26 inches. Again, maximum sustained winds are 150 miles per hour. We do have an extreme wind warning Tallahassee issued, showing the eye wall at about 130 miles an hour or better. And of course, now we have the update from the NHC. There is also a tornado watch for the affected area. Lots of hazards out there. Please be in a safe place. We're getting a lot of reports at various 911 centers directly in the hurricane's path that have had to shut down operations, and they're actually putting their folks into shelters at this point in time. So please stay safe, hunker down. Any reports from the affected area are very much appreciated. WX9VOR.
KN4MJL to net control.
KN4MJL, this is net control, go ahead.
Net control, that report I posted in the text, there is a large tree limb down, minor fence damage. Picture is on the National Weather Service's Facebook page.
Okay, very good, Aaron. Is this something that you went ahead and sent in to NWS Mobile?
Net control, that would be yes correctly. I just posted it and all on every other media site around here.
Okay, very good. Thank you for the report.
KN4MJL.
Carry 3 to CFG, net control.
Is that Carl, K3 CFG? Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, Debbie. I'm sure you're probably ready for a little break. The noon to 3 shift, I'm about ready to take it if you're about ready to hand it over.
Your timing is superb. That would be terrific, Carl. Just let me know when you want to go ahead and take it over, and I will hand the gauntlet over to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be secondary or primary. I'm sure Rob will shape up here in a minute and let me know. I saw him in the background, but I didn't want you to go too far over the noon hour. So with that said, I'll be taking over now, and I'll start with I've got the entire Hurricane Central Georgia affected area thing that I misread earlier. So whenever you're ready.
Actually, what I can do is I can move to being your backup for a little bit. Rob should be coming online in about somewhere in the next half hour. He had already messaged me, so he's taking care of something real quick. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and pick it up as primary for the moment. I've read all the updates, at least from the NHC, prior to this point, so we should be up to date on all of that. There's also, I don't know, do you have NWS chat access?
Yes, ma'am, I do. I believe I'm on everything I need to be on. I'm on Peachtree City. I'm also going to get Mobile. The only ones I'm not on are Tallahassee and Mobile, and I'll get those from you in just a second in Telegram.
Okay, that's why I was asking. Tallahassee's been especially active. They've issued an extreme wind warning, just so that you know. That came up somewhere around 10:30 Central Time, or a little bit before that. So that's probably the biggest update to know about at this point in time. So, okay, let me know if you need anything else, but I will go ahead and flip to being back up at this point in time and hand it over the reins. So K3CFG will now be net control. WX9VOR. Thanks, folks.
Debbie, thank you always. It's a pleasure to work with you. All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Kilo 3, Charlie Foxtrot Golf, net control station for the VoIP Hurricane Net. We are looking for reporting criteria: major winds sustained in gusts of 35 miles an hour or greater, measured rainfall 2 inches or greater, 1 inch of rainfall in an hour, with total rainfall amounts, river stream flooding, washout road, coastal surges, status on power and phone adit. Also stations, if you are a listen-only station, or if you're in here just to be in here to listen to the stream, we have plenty of other options for you to use. We need to keep the bandwidth on the Weather Talk group open. There is the New England 3 EchoLink conference. It's new. KA1 AAA is always a good one to use. The WX5 FWD conference, the ARET conference, and the Washington, D.C. conference. And also, I will put my Twitch stream in the link as well. Also, just for the Georgia stations, I noticed that the Georgia stations, there's a lot of you connected. Peachtree City Weather issued a hurricane warning for the following counties in central Georgia. It'll be Marion, Chile, Macon, Houston, Blakely, Lawrence, Stewart, Webster, Sumter, and Dooley counties effective until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are in those areas, use extreme caution in those areas. This is K3 CFG, standing by for any traffic in or around the affected area.
K3 CFG from K2 DCD.
K2 DCD, go ahead, Dennis.
All right, Carl, with Debbie taking backup right now, I'm going to stand down from backup. I'll just be connected the rest of the afternoon here while I'm doing other work. And then we'll pick the net up as primary at 1700.
Okay, I'm clear. I will have turned it over to Bob at 3. Unfortunately, I need to drive that hour and a half into work before it gets here, so I will be departing at 3 o'clock, but Rob is away. All right, Dennis, I appreciate it. Thank you again also for everything that you do as well. K2 DCD, K3 CFG.
Control, K3 CFG Carl, permission to go direct with KN4MJL.
All stations stand by. Go ahead, Debbie.
Thank you, sir. KN4MJL, if you're listening, I sent you a message in the text box. I'm going to go ahead and relay your report onto the National Hurricane Center as well, but Mobile hasn't published that report yet. They haven't generated an LSR. What was the size on that branch, and about what time did that happen?
KN4MJL here, Net Control. Debbie, it just came down when I just got up. I was reporting the tropical storm conditions. I heard the crash, and I'm looking at it right now. It's a little windy out, and I would say it's about 10 to 12 foot with extra. I would say totally about a 16-foot limb.
Okay. Any sense of the diameter, the circumference of the branch? In other words, how big around is it? That's part of what I was looking for. And then, do you know if this happened, how long ago it was? I'm looking for a time. I'm assuming you're Central Time Zone. So we're talking about 10:45, 11 o'clock. What do you think?
Net Control would be about 10:30 Central Daylight Time, North Foley. Let me get you the grid coordinates.
Aaron, be careful. You have an open mic here for NGU. Or
Yeah, you keyed up a couple times. Just to let you know, I've got your address through hand data, so that's okay. I'm okay on that part. I was just wanting to find out the circumference on the branch. So in other words, how big around do you estimate it's going to be? Is it about a 6-inch diameter branch, 10 inches? About how big around do you think that is?
I got at the base part where it's still cracked on the ground, I got about 16 inches diameter. I got about 16 inches circumference.
All right, thank you much. Appreciate the clarification. WX9VOR.
KN4, I'm down.
Gary, you hear him?
KN4MJL to net control.
KN4MJL, good afternoon, Aaron. Go ahead.
Hey, net control, I uploaded that picture of the limb, minor fence damage to the National Weather Service's Facebook page, so there is a picture of it now.
Try not to key on you. Okay, Aaron, we got that. We can get the information from Mobile to pass on. We're going to pass it on to I believe Debbie's passing that on to the NHF as well. So we appreciate it. KN4NGL from K3CFG, net control station. Net control to all stations. Be reminded that we are going to try to limit all radio traffic and text chat traffic unless it's essential traffic only. Also, stations outside the affected area are reminded to use one of our listen-only nodes. We have several, and also access to a Twitch.tv chat room as well that you can use to listen. I'll remind you again that those stations are as follows: New England 3 Echolink, conference node 9123 or IRLP 9123, the Kilo Alpha 1 Triple Alpha Echolink conference node number 4439, the Whiskey X-Ray 5 Foxtrot Whiskey Delta Echolink conference node 372418, the ARET Echolink conference node 9027223. I probably just disconnected with Echolink. And the Washington, D.C. Echolink conference node 6154. We'll ask that just to help us with the bandwidth here on Weather Talk, that if you're just monitoring, please move over to one of those conferences. Thank you guys for everything. K3CFG.
WX9VOR, KD1CY.
KD1CY and C3CFG. I understand, Rob, you're ready to take over as backup, so I will relinquish. And Carl, Rob is now your backup, so I'll let you gentlemen chat it out. Thanks much, folks. WX9VOR.
Very good, and Carl, we'll tag team this year, and we'll go from there. I'll let you hang on to primary here for a few minutes, and then I'll be back in here. Just a couple of reports I've been able to grab here. One of which we submitted to WX4NHC is a wind gust of 61 miles per hour in St. Teresa, Florida. Just looking at the ASOS, this wouldn't be for submittal to the Hurricane Center, but for the situational awareness of the net. They have had a peak sustained wind at the Apalachicola Airport of 63 miles per hour and a peak wind gust at the airport of 88 miles an hour. KD1CY.
Yeah, good deal, Rob, and I appreciate you for letting me keep a hold of the primary. I just be reminded that you'll have to get another backup plan for when I have to leave at 1500. But other than that, everything I've been just handling the radio traffic, and Debbie has been watching the text box. Thank you again, Debbie. And Rob, when you're ready to take primary, just give me a holler. K3CFG, back to you.
All right, sounds good. And I'll grab the position estimate that will be coming out in about 30 minutes, and I'll get that read and so forth. And for all stations on the net, we are looking for stations in the affected area or stations with relays into the affected area. For reports that we want to submit to the Hurricane Center, the more we know about it, the better. The source of the data, the city, and state, street location, and then specifics on the data, it'll be very helpful. We're also monitoring a number of weather stations in the area. Any and all information, and please share anything that you have. If you don't have those specifics, just let us know that you don't. It's good situational awareness for the net. It's just some of those things won't be submitted to the Hurricane Center without the specific source and some of the specifics that we would look for, just like in any other Skywarn net to the various weather service offices. Thanks, guys, and we'll be monitoring with Carl here. KD1CY.
scratchy signal. Not really anything understood.
NFG, can you repeat that, sir?
That's it.
Okay, disregard. Then it was muted by backup. If you'll send me a note in the text chat, I'll appreciate it. K36.
And this is KD1CY for the VoIP Hurricane Net. There was an ask about Florida power outages. As of 12:32 p.m., outages were at 90,960. About an hour ago, these outages were around 17,000. So the situation is escalating and conditions are deteriorating rapidly in the Florida Panhandle. Also have a report out of Cromaton, Florida, of an 81-mile-an-hour wind gust a couple of times within the last hour, one within the last 10 minutes, the other a little bit earlier, around 11:37 a.m. KD1CY.